As the title says, Mafia 3 could have been perfect, but sadly it's let down by how you progress through the game. A similar thing happened in the Far Cry series. Far Cry 3 was a great game. It had a great world to explore with a shit ton of side activities to do, but you could progress through the story without even touching them. It just meant that you were missing out on weapon upgrades and the potential to level up and unlock perks to make the game easier, so it gave them a bit of purpose. Then you have Far Cry 5, which again has a great map with a shit ton of side activities, but the problem is a lot of these side activities are now tied into the game's progression, very similar to Mafia 3. This just means that when you get to about the halfway point, you kinda don't want to play it anymore. The only reason I carried on playing was because I wanted to see how the story ended, and not because I was enjoying the gameplay experience. I knew every time I took out one of these sub-bosses, what was going to follow was another hour's worth of boring objectives, which is a shame because when it wants to, the game has some fun missions, which are always reserved for taking out one of the bosses of each district. Like very early on in the game, when you have to take one out in an abandoned, quite racist amusement park. I'm pretty sure most of us would have much preferred the game to have about 25 to 30 story missions than have the other filler missions and activities as optional extras to unlock upgrades and perks, a similar way to how Mafia 2 campaign worked. Maybe even have more missions where you're accompanied by the lieutenants like Vito telling stories about what happened after the events of Mafia 2, or Cassandra talking about how she became the leader of the Haitians after basically being a slave for the former leader, and Thomas Burke, whose son was killed by Sal Marcano in the same attack that took Lincoln's family away. That's the most frustrating thing for Mafia 3. It had so much potential when it came to its storytelling and characters, but it felt like all of it was wasted on boring filler missions to make the game seem longer.